Hi everyone, welcome. We are now in the relationship section of PERMA, and we are going to be talking in Lecture 1, Your Brain on Relationships. So I'd like you to take a moment and close your eyes and imagine one of your fondest memories. Maybe it was the first time you met a friend or a partner, or you were at a game or something funny. Take a moment, just get in touch with that moment. And I want you to see, is there anyone else around? I bet most likely there are probably other people around you. And that's because the moments that are some of our favorite, that are the things that make our life worth living, usually involve other people. And that's because other people really matter. This is Chris Peterson's mantra. Christopher Peterson is one of the founders of positive psychology. He helped create the strengths classification system with Marty Seligman, and he was constantly talking about how other people matter. And indeed they do, because our relationships are our biggest predictor of happiness. And even though sometimes people get on your nerves and they're like the bane of your existence, they are also the most significant part as well. Now, the reason why is because our brains are actually designed for relationships. I want you to take a look at this fun little chart. In the past 500,000 years, our brains have literally doubled in size. From like the hominid brain to the brain that we have right now, it went from 600 cubic centimeters to today's present day 1,200 cubic centimeters. And most scientists wrote this off as just something naturally that happens because of man's evolution and figuring out tools and how to survive another day. But this other dude named Nick Humphrey, who's a really fascinating psychologist and professor at the London School of Economics, thought different. So Nicholas thought that our brains doubled in size not to deal with physical problems in the world, but rather with social problems. Yes, those social problems are quite complex, sometimes more complex than figuring out the right tool that you need to use. In fact, it's from developing socially that a lot of language came about. Language development is part of social intelligence and could be a major driver for the reason of our brains doubling in size for the past 500,000 years. Language is how we communicate with one another, and as you know, sometimes finding the right words can be a bit tricky. For example, has your friend ever asked you if she's looked fat? Very tricky question. Another one, have you ever had to break up with someone but not want to hurt their feelings? Another toughie. How about, have you ever wanted to impress someone? What are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to do? And then, what about giving negative criticism? All of these things are really complex situations to figure out. And Marty Seligman talks about how this is something a computer just can't handle. The stuff that goes on in the prefrontal cortex, that is all human, baby. And that is complicated stuff that can't be replicated yet through technology. And that's really kind of one of the special things about being human, is our exchanges with one another and how we connect with one another. So we are coming up on one of my favorite happiness hacks, which is called love languages. In the spirit of communication and complex social interaction, here is one way that you can definitely deepen the love and the appreciation with the people you care most about. Not just your romantic partners, but your friends, your kids, your parents, everyone. You want to get clear on what your love language is. How do you receive love? The way that you receive love is usually the way that you give love. But not everyone speaks the same love language. So someone might like to receive love in a very different way. So if once you become aware of how you like to receive love and how others like to receive love, it's so much easier to love. So here are the 5 love languages. The first is words of affection. Is it very important for you to hear how much you are loved and adored and appreciated verbally? Is that very important to you? Next, love language, acts of service. Is it important for you to see people do nice things for you? For example, I love when my husband brings me home a piece of chocolate cake because I have a strong craving, or he helps me out by organizing my desk and helping me figure out how to orient my chair because it has like 10,000 ways to like bend. Do you like to receive gifts? Is that the way that you really get the sensation of love and care? Do you need quality time? Sometimes you don't care about anything else other than being physically in the same space together or having a chance to really connect over time with someone. And it could also be touch. Do you need to be hugged and kissed and cuddled in order to feel love and appreciation? So take the love language quiz. It is very easy. It's free. You can just Google the 5 love languages and Dr. Gary Chapman, and you will find the site and take the quiz and ask your loved ones to take it as well and have a dialogue about it. And what you'll do is you'll begin to reflect on, this is why my husband is always doing nice things for me, but I always expect him to tell me he loves me more, but he never does that. Oh, well, maybe he's expressing his love to you by doing stuff and not by saying it. The love is there, but he's just speaking a different language. So definitely figure out your love language. Have fun. And I will see you in the next section where we talk about the opposite end of love, the sensation of loneliness, and the epidemic of loneliness in the United States.